you very much for joining us this evening for this very powerful practical masterclass in stress management. We sincerely appreciate you taking a little bit of time out to be with us. We certainly going to entertain you, and I know some of you are going to entertain us. So the two people on the screen there is myself and my daughter, Samantha. Going to be presenting this class to you, and I'll just go through. Okay, here we go. There's just a quick housekeeping. I asked you to put yourselves on mute, but you can keep your video on, not a problem. Please use the chat box as much as possible. We've got Jade who's going to manage the chat box for us, and we are recording the session. So Deerwald, should be a fun session after all. The first thing that we're going to cover is what and why should we manage our stress. Then we're going to look at some of the major sources of stress that that come into our lives. Stress is linked to quite a few things, so we're going to look at that, and we're going to share 5 very important facts with you, which we'd like you to take away. If you have a notebook, that's fine. Take some notes. If you don't, that's also fine. We'll share the presentation. We're going to look at what are the signs of stress so that you can identify it in your body and in your mind. And the next thing we're going to cover is that mind and body is connected. So whatever happens in the mind happens in the body. Then I'm going to hand over to Sam for some practical techniques. And after her, it's going to come back to me. And I'm going to teach you another technique, which is called anchoring. And then we're going to have some questions and answers. But please, do use the chat box during the presentation. It's all good. Okay. All right. Here's the first part of using the chat box. You all know, can you see your chat box at the bottom there? Can you tell me, whom do you see, the young lady or the old lady? Can you tell me how many ifs you see? Okay, that's long enough. Okay, next thing, what and why do we have to, what is stress and why do we have to manage it? Well, we believe that stress is unavoidable. It comes at us from all angles. It comes at us sometimes from places where you don't think it will come from, but it's going to come at you. It is unavoidable. It's not something we can go and hide away from. And stress isn't necessarily always bad. And that's something Samantha is going to cover when she does her session. When is stress good and when is it not good? Prolonged stress and unmanaged stress is bad for you. That is what will cause illnesses. That is why we've done the session, because we want to give people some simple techniques and some simple actions you can use to manage the stress, because that's the key, is managing it. It's not going to go away. It's about how you manage it. Stress is known to be a silent killer. Therefore, you need techniques that will help you manage it as you go along your life. Okay, so that's the what and the why. Now, what are the top 4 sources of stress? And I'm sure you will agree with me. The first one up there, it's money. And it's probably lack of money. Yes, and that too, Devil. It's probably lack of money, but also money sometimes is the root of all evil. So it could be, it's a stressor regardless. And the second one is work or no work. Currently, we are in a situation where 53% of our population is unemployed. Now, that obviously is causing huge stress. There's another reason why we made the session very affordable. It's because we want to give everybody a chance to actually come on board and hear these things and start to do something about it. Because it is a silent killer, and if you don't do something about it, at some point you are going to end up on the list. Stress is now considered a hazard in the workplace. Okay, so everybody in any workplace I know there's some of you that are from companies, or most of you are from companies. It is definitely something companies should be looking at seriously, and not just leave people out there to their own devices. And the next one is family responsibilities. We know we juggle a lot of things. We've got family, we've got work, we've got extended family that we have to take care of. So family responsibilities is number 3 on the list. And number 4 is health concerns. Did you know that 75 to 90% of every doctor's visit has something related to stress? And if it isn't related to stress, by the time you come out of the doctor, you will have stress. So these are the things that we need to recognize and understand and know that they are in our spaces, and we need to work with it and try and manage it. Stress is linked to the 6 leading causes of death. And I'm sure you know these. I don't have to tell you, but it's up here. Heart disease, cancer, lung disease, accidents, cirrhosis of the liver, and last but definitely not least, which is a very worrying statistics in our communities, is suicide. This is an article that I have read recently, and I wanted to share it with you. It's about the 5 most important facts about stress. I'm sure there are many more, but we're going to share 5 with you. Your body doesn't care whether it's big stress or little stress. It's going to respond. It's going to have a stress response of some kind, whether it's your heart beating faster, whether it's you going into a panic state, but your body will react. Whether it's a pain in the back or a pain in the stomach, your body is going to react to something that is stressing you. Stress can make you do silly things. And this is around decision making. And it's very important for us because we make major decisions in our lives, and you should never do it when you are feeling stressed. When you make major decisions or any kind of decisions, you should be in a state of congruence, a state of coherence, a state of calm. So stress can make you do silly things. So you need to be aware of it. We can become numb to stress, and this is very critical when you get numb to stress. When we say things like, so what? It's just life. It is what it is. Those are the things we say, isn't it? We often say that. We are numb, we're numbing ourselves to it, and so we don't deal with it because we sweep it under the carpet. So that's fact number 3. Fact number 4 is that you can control how you respond to stress. You do not have to be a victim of your emotions and your feelings. You can control how you respond to stress. And that's the kind of things we want to address in the little techniques that we are going to show you. Is your stress response. We all have a natural stress response. When we're under stress, we either shout, we raise our voices, or could be that you walk away from it and you just go and sit in a corner and cry. But we're going to try and teach you some of the ways that you can control your response to stress. And then last but not least, the most important actually, is that the best strategy is to handle stress in the moment. So it's not to wait until you can go to the gym and release. You need to have some kind of strategies and techniques that help you in that moment when the stress situation is coming on, when you're dealing with a difficult client. How are you going to do it in that moment so that it doesn't go and sit in your body somewhere? Okay, so those are the 5 most important facts we want to share with you and we want to work with. These are the warning signs, and I'm sure you'll identify. Depression, insomnia, feeling overwhelmed, being anxious, having that anxious feeling in the pit of your stomach, feeling demotivated. Stress causes demotivation. causes you not to want to get up in the morning. Poor decision making makes you make wrong decisions, takes your focus away. Constant worry, even if you're sleeping too much, that could also be a sign of stress. Okay, so these are the things one needs to look out for. If you're feeling it in your body, I'm sure there are many more. I could probably fill the page even more, but these are the ones that we've taken out that you need to take cognizance of, start to be aware of them, and then do something about them. We said in the beginning, mind and body is connected. So what happens in the mind happens in the body. So if that thought process is going through your head, you can bet your bottom dollar that at some point it's going to manifest in your body. So where in your body could you potentially be feeling stress? And it's important to notice it, because that little ache in the back is possibly caused by stress. Okay, could be in your shoulders. Have you often felt that your shoulders are tight, and when you go for a massage, it's actually a numb? Could be in your head, you're getting unrealistic, unreal headaches all of a sudden. Could be in your jaw. When you open your mouth, it's sore when you open your jaw. Definitely in the stomach, or your heart beating faster, or you have difficulty breathing. You can see it in your skin often. Often your skin all of a sudden starts coming out when it wasn't there before. Can be in your hair. Start losing your hair. Can be in your immune system, or it can even be in your muscles. So throughout your body, you are going to somewhere, if you are under undue prolonged stress, you're going to feel it in one of these areas. And that's when you end up in the doctor, and you may be getting a diagnosis which you didn't want. So the right thing to do is to think about stress differently and start taking care of it with little techniques, which I'm now going to hand over to Samantha, and she's going to start us off and show us some of those techniques.
Okay, hello everyone. So yes, like my mom said, I'm Sam. And from my side, what I want to do with you today is show you that there's a difference between experiencing anxiety and suffering from anxiety. We can change the way we handle stress just by changing the way we think about stress. But before we do that, I just want to do a little test with everybody. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to give you 1 minute. Everybody's going to take some time. You're going to think about all the negatives about yourself, and then you're going to share it with everybody here. Okay, we're going to go through each one of us one by one. Yeah? Okay. I saw a reaction, and that's exactly what I wanted. I saw some people were like, sorry, what? That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted you to feel a little bit stressed. That's why we're here, right? So maybe you felt your heart was pounding. Your breathing changed because now you're feeling a little bit stressed. Don't worry, it's not actually going to happen. I just wanted you to feel what was happening. But from my side, what I want to tell you is that your heart pounding is a way of your body preparing you for the action. Your heart's preparing you for the challenge that you're about to face. It's not that bad. Yes, when your breathing changes, you're getting more oxygen. Your brain functions better the more oxygen it has. So that's also not really a bad thing. I'm not saying, yes, please, we all want more stress, give us more stress. That's not what I'm saying at all. But just by changing the way you handle a situation, by thinking, okay, I'm actually preparing for what's about to come. Another thing about stress, which most people don't realize, is that stress makes you social. If you are someone that is an introvert, or even if you're someone that likes to help others, the one thing that we can connect most with is when we have a problem and you want to go talk to someone about it. It's actually made you social. It's given you a chance to talk about something to someone. So it's not always such a bad thing. So before I teach you some techniques on how to handle this stressful situation, I just want to ask one question. When you see someone panicking or getting overwhelmed by something, what is the one thing that you say to them besides calm down? Can anyone say? Yeah?
It's okay.
No? Maybe?
Take a deep breath.
There we
Good
go.
morning.
Most of the
No
time you
problem.
tell people to breathe as if they've forgotten how to breathe. It's a good way to really manage stress. So something I'm going to teach you, it's called box breathing, and we're all going to try it together. It's very easy. If you feel dizzy at any point, breathe. Okay? So what happens is you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to breathe in for 4, and then you're going to hold it. Can you hear me? We're going to breathe in for 4, then you're going to hold it for 4, then you're going to breathe out for 4, and you hold it for 4. Okay, so it would be better if you sit up nice and straight. Okay, so here we go. Thank you. Everybody take a deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and relax. It was easy. I could see everyone could handle it. Yes. So we're going to try it one more time. We're going to do it for 4, and then we're going to work our way up, and we're going to try it for 6. Like I said, if you do feel dizzy, just breathe normally. Okay, so let's try it for 4 again. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3. Let's try 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could tell it was a little bit harder for some people. Some people, it's okay. But the more you increase your lung capacity, the easier it'll get. So that is one technique that you can use. You try it with 4, then you try 6, then you can try 8, work your way up to 10. And once you hit 12, maybe you can call me so I can watch, because that would be great. Okay, so it's called box breathing because we're doing it for 4, hold, 4, hold. So can we just try it one more time? Ready? Breathe in. We're going to do 6, sorry. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The point of the exercise is to not go and you're done. You have to breathe in for all the counts. If you are someone that struggles with overthinking, maybe you're someone that thinks about what happened today, what's going to happen tomorrow, I didn't do this. This technique really helps. Even if you're someone that suffers from insomnia and you can't sleep at night, it makes you focus on one thing because you have to count. So while you're counting, you can't be thinking about what happened today or what's going to happen tomorrow. So it is a way to calm your mind down. It's a way of you not having to get up and go punchy bag. You can literally sit at your desk and take a chance to just breathe. In the moment when the stress hits you, at that very moment, you can just take time to breathe. So I hope that helps you a little bit. Please do practice it. It takes 20 seconds out of your day, and it's really not that hard. So another exercise that I'm going to teach you, it's a technique, it's called tapping. I don't know if you've noticed when people get anxious, they start fiddling and tapping their hands or shaking their foot. It's because we have pressure points. So we have pressure points in our hands and we have pressure points in our feet, and we kind of do it automatically. So you can all just do it with me. You're going to lift your left hand up, and with your right hand, you're going to tap on the outside of your hand. That's a pressure point. Okay, and then you move to your eyebrow, on the inside of your eyebrow, and you just tap. On the outside of your eyebrow, under your eye, on top of your lip, your chin, collarbone, and head. So at the same time, while you're doing these tapping, you're saying an affirmation that is going to make you accept what you are going through. So you're just going to repeat after me. We're going to go through it once. Yes, maybe in the workplace you're going to be looking a little bit crazy, but it does help. Okay, so you're just going to repeat after me, and we're going to start with the hand. So tap your hand, and you say, even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. And we move on. Even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. Even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. Even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. Move on to the collarbone. Even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. Last one. Even though I feel stressed and anxious right now, I deeply accept and understand what I'm feeling. And relax. So you can do this technique, you can do it as many times as you like, but I am someone who suffers from anxiety, and this technique really has helped me. So don't feel like maybe I look stupid. If you are stressed and you want to handle it, handle it. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think about you. The last thing that I'm going to go through is, like my mom said, when we're stressed, we take it on our bodies. We get places which get either achy, or you just all of a sudden feel that you have a certain pain in your neck. Also, if you are not stressed, you can stretch. There's no problem in waking up in the morning, taking 20 seconds out of your day, getting up and stretching and releasing all that tension. Something that happens in your body is when you get stressed, you get a buildup of lactic acid. So if you are someone that likes to click your fingers when you're feeling anxious, or click your neck, it's not good for you to click so much. It is breaking that lactic acid, but I'm going to teach you a different way of releasing that lactic acid that isn't as harmful as clicking your fingers or clicking your neck. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your hands in a fist for me. And you're going to take your shoulders and put it up in your ears. This is called squeeze and release. So you really squeeze, 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 and go and release. Okay, one more time. Really squeeze everything. Squeeze. And release. So it's called the squeeze and release. While you are driving in the car, you're late, you're panicking, you're anxious. You can drive in the car, squeeze and release. It will help with all the muscles, the pains in your neck, and especially in your hands, those fingers that you want to click so much. Another thing we can do is place your hand underneath your bum. Sit up nice and straight, one hand. Other hand over your head. And just pull it down to the side. You should feel that stretch in your neck. Most people take a lot of stress in their neck and their shoulders. And I'm pretty sure maybe today you haven't stretched and you're like, oh, this actually feels nice. And we do the other side, same thing, hand under your bum, take it over. And relax. So also we need to remember that our neck doesn't only consist of the two sides of our neck, we also need to get the back of our neck. So you do the same thing, your hand under your bum again, turn your head towards your armpit and bring it down. So just look at your armpit and bring it down. Like I said, it takes 30 seconds to do, not breaking your sweat. And release. Very good. Other side. And release. The next thing that I'm going to show you is, for those of you who thought you were coming to work out, we're going to do some yoga. We're going to do some yoga. Okay, so if everyone's going to stand up for me, please. So all you're going to do, take your arm up and reach over. Very good. We do the other side. placing your hands just in the back, and all you're going to do is push forward. And relax. Okay, just shake it out for me. Okay, one pose that I would suggest each morning, if you need to get focused and you need to get centered, it's very good. It's called the eagle pose. It's a little bit challenging, but I'm sure we can all do it. So what you do is you place your elbows over each other and you cross your hands so that your palms are together. So what you do is you take a leg over the other leg and wrap it around. Cross your arms and balance. So doing something like this that makes you balance and makes you focus will also set you up for a day where you are going to concentrate because you took 10 seconds of your day to just concentrate on one thing. The last thing I'm going to show you is I'll do it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It is, I don't know if you've ever experienced when you stand too much, you get that pain in your lower back. Has anybody ever experienced that when you stand too much, you get that lower pain in your back? Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to just release that. Very easy. You can do it in the bed, sitting in your bed. So all you do is cross one leg over the other one, take your arm and twist your spine. And the same thing on the other side, one leg over the other leg, take it around and twist. Another one that's very good is to lay down, flat on your back, cross over and switch. And we do the same thing on the other side. So like I said, these are some things that you can do in your bed. You wake up in the morning, you just twist your spine. If it clicks, it's not a bad thing. Like I said, yes, it's not good to click all the time, but if it releases that spine just for 20 seconds in your day, that's not a bad thing at all. So it's crossing the leg over the other one, crossing the leg over, laying down, crossing, laying down, crossing, and it is very good to sit on the floor. Amanda is already sitting on the floor. It is very good to get grounded and sit on the floor. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something from me. We went through breathing, we went through tapping, and we went through some stretching. If you want to look up more from us when it comes to meditation or breathing, we do have a YouTube channel. That's Forward Thinking Institute on YouTube. Please feel free to go and just look it up for us. Okay. So we're going to move back to my mom, but everyone, if you could you please switch off your cameras for us so that for the next presentation, there's no distractions.
Okay, thank you for that, Sam. Those were really gentle exercises I'm sure we can all use in our lives going forward. I'm going to do a technique with you now, which is called anchoring. But first, I probably need to explain to you what I mean by anchoring. Anchoring is a stress management technique whereby your brain makes an association with something that comes from one of your senses. Your senses are your see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Another way to explain it to you is you all know well-known brands. When you engage with a well-known brand, for example, say Coca-Cola, and the advert flights on TV, all of a sudden you get a feeling that you either want a fizzy drink or you want an actual Coke. And that is the emotional message that that brand is sending through to your brain. It's making a connection, makes you want to do something. And that's the power of branding. So you'll get up from your chair, you'll either go to the fridge and pour yourself a Coke, or you'll actually, in fact, go to the shop and go and buy one. It's an automated response because of the connection that your brain is making with what you are seeing. Okay. Here's another way of explaining it. Think about a song that you used to love in your younger years, or that you really like right now. As soon as you hear that song, some emotion is triggered within you. You start feeling that emotional state, it's activated, and you start to feel those same emotions that you felt when you were younger, when you heard the song. Anchoring works on the same principle. It is a powerful technique, but you have to be prepared to do the work. And if you are prepared to do the work, listen to what I'm saying, go away and practice it. It will help you in those situations where you have to quickly switch your brain on to get into a state of calm. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a magic switch that you could just switch on whenever you felt that the need to be confident or to be balanced or to be more assertive, to say the right words and to be completely in control? Well, an anchor is that magic switch. I experienced it myself. I didn't share with you that I'm an NLP trained coach. And we work very much with the mind and what happens in the mind and what are the triggers that sets us off and how can we manage ourselves. I used to lack lots of self-confidence, and when I went through this technique, it helped me to gain more self-confidence and to be a little bit more assertive. Okay, so I said to you that this technique works with your senses. The one I'm going to teach you today is a touch sense. So I just want you to quickly think about something that you don't normally do. Something you don't normally do. So if it's a habit of yours to touch your nose, that's not what you must think of right now. Think of something else. For example, something's a little bit uncommon. Place your right hand onto the middle of your left hand and touch yourself there. If that's something that's uncommon and you don't normally do it, that can be a strong anchor for you. Or take your right thumb and place it onto your right ring finger, for example. If that's something that you don't normally do, that could be a very strong anchor for you. Or your right thumb, put it onto your pulse of your left hand, your left arm. That could be a strong anchor for you. Anything. So I want you to think of something now and find one. And I just want you in the chat box to tell me when you're ready. If you find something that you don't normally do and it's a touch. Okay, thank you. I think we've more or less got everybody. If you haven't yet, please just pop it in quickly there. I saw somebody say type with your left hand. When I say touch, I mean touch yourself somewhere on your body. Okay, so we're not talking about other equipment now of typing and all that. It's about touching yourself somewhere on your body. Okay. Right. Close your eyes. Sit back and just relax. I want you to go back into your memory bank. Think about the time when you were really happy. Think about something. It could be in your childhood. Could be last week when you met a good friend. Could be when someone told you a joke and you laughed so hard you were rolling on the floor. Just go and find a memory of something that made you really happy. Think about what you saw at the time when you were so happy. Think about what you felt at the time when you were so happy. Did your whole body experience that happy feeling? Next, I want you to think about a time when you made a really good decision. Something that had a really good outcome. Made a good decision. Maybe even coming onto the session today is a good decision. Made a good decision. Think about it. And it had a very good outcome. Feel what you felt at the time. See what you saw at the time. And let your whole body experience it. Third one, think about a time when you did something really well. It could be the time when you graduated from high school and you went up and was your matric ball and you felt very accomplished at the time, or you graduated from university, or you finished a project and it was really good and you went and somebody gave you an award, anything like that. Something you did really well. See what you saw at the time. Feel what you felt at the time. Let your whole body feel that feeling right now. And I want you to combine those three feelings. The feeling of feeling very happy, laughing from the pit of your tummy, when you made a really good decision. And the third one, when you felt that you did something really, really well. So once you've got that combination of the three, just think about it and get that feeling, get that wonderful feeling through and use your touch. Touch whatever it was that you chose, touch yourself and release. Get the feeling up into your body again. And as soon as the feeling gets to almost a really peak point, touch yourself and release. In the same spot, with the same kind of energy, not too hard, not too long. Don't hang on to it, just touch and release. Get the feeling back up into you again. Think about all those things. Even if you're smiling right now, that's okay. Touch yourself and release. A quick touch and release. Do it again. Touch and release. If you do this at least 2 or 3 times a day, and you really work with it, you really go, don't pretend that you're doing it, really do it. You either go and sit in a quiet place and you think about these things and you do it. If you do it 2 or 3 times a day, even when it is in the real world and someone is making you laugh, do it. Someone is telling you a joke and you're really feeling, do it. Okay. You have to do it because it's going, your brain is going to start making a connection to that touch. Okay, I want you to switch your cameras on, please. Whether you did it well enough or didn't do it well enough, I would encourage you, go away and practice this thing. Have you heard of Pavlov and his dog? Who's heard of that story? Rang the bell and it was associated with food. Eventually he was just ringing the bell and there was saliva coming out of their mouths and they were excited about getting food. That's the technique. You can apply it to your own life. You can apply it to yourself. When you walk into a meeting, you don't have to make it obvious. Whatever the thing was that you chose, mine was here. Before you walk into that meeting, press and release. I promise you, your brain works like that. It's going to make a connection with that touch that you are doing. You have to repeat it though. If you are not going to repeat it, it's not going to work. And don't tell us then the technique doesn't work. It's because you are not doing the work. It can work as fast as you walk out today and it's there for you. It happened for me like that. I walked out and it was there. Some have to take longer. It's about repetition. Pavlov did it over and over and eventually it worked. The brands that I'm telling you about, that's how it works. I'd like you to, whenever you see forward thinking, that brand is going to associate you with stress management. It's what we're trying to do with our brands. You're all in business. When you see your brand, it must evoke. Amy is here. She's in advertising. Amy, take your mute off and just tell us, how does advertising work? A quick sentence.
So we basically, what we want to do is communicate stories so that we can build that emotional connection.
Exactly. It's about the brain once. As soon as there's an emotional connection, you've got me. Okay, so that's anchoring in a nutshell. It is something that I do on a regular basis on a one-on-one session. It's hard to do it in a group. It's much easier when you do it one-on-one. It doesn't mean it doesn't work in a group, but it's up to you. Okay. Your attention may be taken away now. You're in a Zoom session and you were behind the camera. I didn't see you. You may well have been playing with your dog. I don't know. But I hope that you didn't. I hope that you actually tried it. Okay. We are going to open it up to you now for questions and answers. I just want to check our time. We've got 5 minutes. And you can pop questions and answers into the chat box for us, or you can actually put your hand up and ask questions. Over to you.
Well, Seb's had to go early, but she said she really enjoyed the stretching. So yeah, she said she's going to go onto YouTube and see if there's any more stretching classes. But yeah, stretching was quite good. It felt actually good to stretch my neck for a bit.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sinjin, for that feedback.
And I also think, sorry, sometimes also I do get lower back pains, and I think some of that stretching exercises will definitely help, you know, so that's very positive. I like that.
Thank you, dear.
For me, it was a good couple of, you know, a dedicated time just to kind of just be in the moment, kind of just appreciate the breathing, the being present.
Okay, thank you for that, Amanda. Thank you, Deerwald. And it is so important to make that time. Even in your day, if there's 5 minutes of quiet time, you have to give it to yourself in some shape or form. There's some questions that are coming through here. Thank you for the chats. I think it was Miles that says, how do you not use a negative action to reduce your stress? Can you just explain to us what do you mean by that question, Miles? Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was me. So basically, if I'm stressed, I'll just go straight to the cupboard and eat chocolate and sweets to try and cope with my stress because it makes me feel good. So how can I not? I know that's not going to make me feel good in the long term, but it's just my coping mechanism for stress.
Okay, I do believe that you need to, the brain needs to switch off from that chocolate. You know what? You've been indoctrinated. You've been anchored by the chocolate. We need to collapse that anchor. Today, I have given you an anchor. I've created an anchor, okay? I do sessions to collapse the anchor because that chocolate is an anchor.
Mm.
That chocolate is telling you, I'm going to feel better. We need to replace that with a positive one that's going to go, I don't want the chocolate. We can do it with people. I've done it successfully and seen it successfully with people smoking even.
Oh, okay.
Because you can change the brain pattern. But that's one-on-one work. But that chocolate is an anchor, and it's a negative anchor that we want to replace with something else. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing actually, because I never thought of the chocolate as the anchor. But now you said it, it's like, well, yeah, that's fine. Like straight away I go there. So thank you.
You do have something. I don't know what you did, but you do have something else. Try to do that when the feeling of the chocolate comes. But I don't think it's going to work as well until we collapse the anchor.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Pleasure. Oh, Vusi said he started the session with a slight tension headache, but the breathing actually helped. Are there any specific techniques one can use for headaches? One-on-one, Vusi, he's not here anymore, is he? Has he left? Vusi?
He's here.
Oh, you're still there. I think you've got it, because it's lactic acid, like Samantha explained. And maybe Sam can take that question just now. Let me see. Manira says, please share results with seeing the young lady first. Okay, and the number of Fs. Thank you for that, Manira. We're going to do that now. Okay, people say they can't find their happy place. That is a distress signal. That is a distress signal. If you can't find your happy place, we need to work with you to find your happy place, because that means the stress has overridden you. You've forgotten the stuff that makes you happy, and we need to. Happiness comes from within, guys. You've got to find it. Claudine, that's something that we need to work with. Is that okay? The young lady and the old lady. Who saw the young lady first? Why do you think you saw the young lady first? We have a frame of reference. This brain of ours works with frames of reference. It works with stuff that we get into our heads all the time. You have to, and it's also about switching. Have you ever heard of left and right brain? I'm sure you have. It's about switching the brain on to see deeper and to be more active. We only use not even 8% of our brain capacity. But the point is, I think it was Moniro asked it. The thing of that is your frame of reference makes you see the young lady first. Some people won't even see the older lady because your frame of reference is so strong. And it mostly is the younger people in the room here that put their hands up. It's your frame of reference. And Devald, you're a young man, and so is Gert. You saw the young lady. But it's about your frame of reference, about what it is that you've exposed yourself to. That's how you see what you see. The number of F's. 6, Monira.
7.
7. St. John got 7. 6. Sam? 4. 3. Okay. Thank you. Those of us who got 7, and St. John is just a genius. 6 or 7 is the right answer. I think it's 6, but
yeah, but listen,
maybe you saw another F.
His surname starts with Fester, so that's also F. That's why he's got.
That's the 7th F. If you only saw 3, you need to go and have a look at why you only saw 3. It's because your brain is faster than what you read, isn't it? You are on such a, what do you call this thing? The hamster wheel. You read like this. And you didn't say, I'm sure you saw the main F's, but you didn't see the off. That's another F. There were 3 offs, I think. You didn't see it because you are too quick. And that's another thing, we do it in our communication class, your listening skills and your ability to slow your brain down. What we try today as well is to slow your brain down. You really have to do that for yourself. You need to slow down so that you can speed up. Sounds silly, but you need to do that. Okay. I think we've taken all the questions we could. Is there anybody with a further burning question? Because our time is up and we need to say goodbye.
Dennis, no, listen, you know what? Sorry, I just want to say, you know what? It is, and it is so true what you said now, is you read something, but you want to rush through it. You're not reading in between the lines. You just, you take a word here and a word there and a word there, and you actually put your own sentence together. And that's not what the man said, you know. That is very, very, very true. And I sometimes do that as well. I read too fast, and I miss half of the, you know, the important stuff in between. You miss, you know.
Totally.
So true.
That's very true, Devald. And it has, and what you do then is you respond too fast. You respond too fast, and then that's where the miscommunication comes in.
Absolutely. Sometimes, you know what, and you start seeing it like this. I've got like 30 emails I've got to get through, and you start rushing through the stuff. So, you know, just slow down, just read with the guy, just answer what he's asking you for, and no hassles. But now you want to rush through the stuff because you're a little bit under pressure, and I want to catch up, and that's actually wrong. That's wrong, you know.
Totally.
And knowingly, you know, you don't realize you're doing it, but you're actually doing it. You know, you're actually doing it. And you actually become your own worst enemy at the end of the day. Because
you do, but that's why we're trying to teach you brain techniques. You need to make this connection between what your brain is doing and what you're doing. Because often we're ahead of ourselves and we don't do
100%.
justice to ourselves. But all the breathing exercises, all these little techniques are stuff that you can do. And anchoring, guys, there's one thing I have to say to you, it definitely works. So does the breathing. It works. You must actually feel when you breathe that you get a pain in your tummy or in your shoulders when you're breathing. And that's, do you know that we don't breathe well? We don't breathe well enough. You should be breathing from the pit of your tummy. Am I right, Samantha? We breathe from here and we talk from here. So it's all lessons to be learned. But I want to thank you all for coming on board this evening, and we had such fun with you. Thank you for your participation. I hope you've learned something and you've taken something away with you that you can go and apply. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Samantha.